Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. This is Bruna. Today we are going to be learning how to crochet. Yes, we are going to be doing an amigurumi in today's video, and we are going to be making the soldiers from Squid Game. So the red man, as you can see here, and I have the square one and the triangle one. Super cute. And if you have watched already the show, it's pretty scary, so it's perfect for Halloween, for the Halloween season. And when I saw the soldiers, I was like, oh my god, that would make an amazing amigurumi. So that's what I did. I came up with my own pattern. As you can see, this one here, the square one, it's a little bit bigger because I've used a number 3 yarn, a DK yarn weight. This one is a little bit smaller because I've used the same, it's exactly the same color, but a little bit smaller. So this one is a number 2 yarn weight, all right? That's why they are a little bit different. If you want to make them bigger, then you can just use a chunky or super chunky yarn and follow the same steps. That would be awesome. So yeah, this is what we are going to be learning today's video. I'm pretty excited. I loved how they turned out. Super cute. They are not as scary as in the show. So I'm pretty happy about it. And look at them. They are so cute. I love it. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, don't forget to leave your massive thumbs up as you always do. And also don't forget to subscribe and to turn on the notification bell to receive notifications every time I post a new video. So enjoy the little soldiers from Squid Game, and let's begin with the tutorial. For my yarn, I am using the Bravissimo 50. So the link for these 3 yarns that we are using will be in the description if you want to get this particular yarn. It's really good. It's my favorite yarn, my favorite 100% acrylic yarn, and this one is a DK yarn weight. And we are going to be using black, red and white. And then with my yarn, I am using a 4mm hook, and then a tapestry needle, a stitch marker if you are a beginner or if you want to keep on track of your rows, which is really good when you're working in rounds like this for amigurumis. And then a small pair of scissors, measuring tape, and some pins as well, so that it's easier to sew all the pieces together. And lastly, we are going to be using amigurumi stuffing. So these ones here, these fibers, and all the materials will be in the description if you want to get any of the things that I'm showing you here. So these are all the materials. So now let's start with today's project. So this is what we are going to be making now, and as you can see, you cannot really see the stitches because the yarn is too dark. I'm going to be showing you with this purple yarn, but you're going to be using the black, all right? It's just so that I can show you all the stitches that we are doing now. So first, we are going to be creating a magic ring. And then we are going to be chaining 1, which doesn't count as a stitch. And then you're going to be creating 8 single crochets going around the magic ring. Once you have the 8 single crochets, you are going to be closing the magic ring. Now we have this little circle. We are not going to be slip stitching and closing the circle. We are going to be going straight to the second round from here. So go into the very first single crochet that you've created. You're going to pull up a loop and then single crochet. So this one is the very first single crochet of the second round. So here, into this single crochet, we are going to be placing the stitch marker, and then go back into that same stitch. You're going to be creating a second single crochet into that same stitch. So for the second round, we are going to be making 2 single crochets in each stitch going around, and we are going to be having 16 stitches in total. So we are going to now work the third round back loop only. So here we have back loop and front loop. So we are just getting the back loops of the stitches. So going to this very first one where the stitch marker was, and then single crochet into the first one, back loop only, and you want to return the stitch marker every time you go up a row. So back loop only, so we are doing 1 single crochet in each stitch. So we are going to be keeping the leg the same size all the way up now. So it's gonna go up to here with 16 stitches. And this, the third round, is the only one that we are going to be doing back loops only. It's just to create this kind of little effect here, and just so that the feet will be kind of folded. So it's just kind of like a little detail. So go all the way around, and this is my last one. So as you can see, it will kind of fold just like that. And then now we are going to be grabbing both loops, so the entire stitch. So remove the stitch marker, go into this first one where the stitch marker was, single crochet, return the stitch marker. And now we are going to be working around and around and around until we have 6 rounds in total. We are counting the bottom ones here as well. So 1, 2, 3. We have to do 3 more going around. So we are just working around and around. So we are not slip stitching or anything. So we are continuously working around and going up. When you get back here to the stitch marker, just remove the stitch marker, create a single crochet into that stitch, return stitch marker, and repeat the same thing until you have 6 rounds in total. So I'm going to be doing mine, and then I will be back to show you what to do next. So here I have the 6 rounds completed. So now let's count it together so you know exactly how you're going to be counting. So here we have 1, 2, and then here you can clearly see how to count because you can see the lines going across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this one, it's supposed to measure 3 centimeters. So I'm going to be measuring this with you. So just like this, it's supposed to measure 3 centimeters. So once you have this completed, we can cut the middle yarn like about here. I'm going to be cutting that. And this one we don't have to weave in, we are just going to be hiding it like inside, just like that. And now we are going to be changing from black, in which you're supposed to have this one in black, just like that. So from black to red, because now we are going to be doing the leg. So as you can see here, we have the foot and then the leg right on top. So we are going to now move on into the leg. So once you're finished with your 6 rounds, we are going to chain 1, and then you can cut your yarn, pull the yarn and make it nice and tight. So now we can remove the stitch marker. So I'm gonna do on top of these ones so you know exactly what you have to do. So first we are going to be creating a slip knot. So this is how I attach my yarn in place. You can do any other way you want, any other way that you know how to do it. And what I like to do is to go just about 3-4 stitches on this side here rather than on this side. I prefer starting here. So go into any stitch. I'm gonna go into this one, pull up a loop and create the first single crochet. We don't need to place a stitch marker here because this one is very easy to find. And what we are going to be doing is following all the stitches that we have here, and we are going to be creating one right on top. Oh yeah, make sure that you don't do that. So this one is not a stitch. Go into the next one, in which is a stitch. So you want to make sure that you also have 16 stitches right on top of the foot, right? Because we want to make sure that we have the same numbers of stitches going around. So when you get to the other side, so I have here my 16 stitches going around. So go into this very first single crochet. You can go kind of in the middle of the single crochet. And then here we are going to be creating the very first single crochet. And then now we can place a stitch marker into this one so we can keep on track on the amount of rounds and also the beginning of the round that we are doing. So we are going to be following exactly the same as we did here the very last 3 rows of the foot, just going around and around and around until we have 16 rounds in total, counting the foot rounds here as well. And then when you get at the end here, make sure that you remove the stitch marker. Go into the first stitch, single crochet, return stitch marker. So just follow the same steps until you have 16 rounds in total. So once you've done the first one, so I'm going to show you on this one because this is the one that I've created to fasten off. You don't need to leave a long yarn like I did. So you're going to go ahead and cut your yarn. And then you are going to fasten off. So chain 1, pull the yarn, fasten off. So you're going to leave this one here aside. Remember that we have 16 rounds in total for this one. And then with this one, we are going to be leaving it attached to the yarn ball because we are now going to be moving on into creating the body. So we are going to be attaching this one that is attached to the yarn ball, the second one that you create. So you are not going to fasten off because we are going to attach the other leg. And then we are going to be creating the body straight away into the body. So it's easier and we don't have to do a lot of sewings or anything like that. And this one here from the bottom, it should measure 8.5 centimeters. So we can now remove the stitch marker from this one. So we are not using the stitch marker here anymore. We are now moving into the body. So from where you left off here on the leg, we are going to be chaining 2. So we are going to be having 16 stitches plus 2 now that is going to be in between the legs. All right, 16, 17, 18 stitches in total. So once you've done the chain 2, we are now bringing the other leg and we are going to be attaching it right after the fasten off, so into the next stitch available. So you're going to go through that stitch, you're going to pull up a loop, and then right here we are going to be creating the very first single crochet. Now we want to return the stitch marker into this very first single crochet. So we are first going to be creating all the 16. So now, let me show you. We are going to be working around, so this yarn here we can hide inside the leg, just like that. We are not using this one. So now we are going to be working around the left leg on top of the 2 stitches. So you should have 2 single crochets here as well. And then on the other leg on the right side. All right, so we are going to be working around and around, and then I'm going to show you. So the first thing we have to do is to go into the left leg here, and we are going to make sure that we have 16 single crochets going around. And then this one is going to be my single crochet number 16 for this side. And now we are going to be working on top of the chain 2. So go right into this very first one. Grab one little loop. Make sure that it's nice and tight. And then you're going to be crocheting the first single crochet. And then go into the other one. Single crochet. Now we can go into the other leg. So here we have the first single crochet. So go into the next one. And then we are gonna go all the way around, creating single crochets, making sure that we also have 16 on this side. And now we have to work the single crochets on the other side of the chain. The 2 single crochets. And then this one is the beginning of our round for the body. So go into the first chain, pull up a loop, single crochet, go into the next one, pull up a loop and single crochet. So now going around, we should have 36 single crochets. You can always go ahead and count to make sure that you have the 36 stitches. If not, you probably have skipped a stitch, so go back and count every time you go around here, because after here you don't have to count anymore because you know that you have the right amount of stitches. So now from here it's going to be very simple. You just have to go around and around and around until you have 31 rounds from the bottom. So we are going to be doing for this next part 15 rounds going around without increases, without decreases, just going straight up, exactly how we did here for the leg. So as you can see, I have completed the 31 rounds in total. So we have 15 here for the body and then 16 here for the legs. So in total that's 31. And if I measure for you, this should measure around 15 centimeters in total, as you can see. So now we are going to be doing some decreases here for the neck. So we are going to be following the same sequence of decreases for 4 rounds in total. So it's going to be 32, 33, 34, and 35. We are going to be also starting from where we have here the stitch marker. So here is where we start a new round, always, where we have the stitch marker. So remove the stitch marker. So go into the next one, pull up a loop, keeping this one on the hook, go into the next one and then pull up another loop, as you can see. So we are working into the next 2. Once you have the 3 loops on the hook, you go into yarn over, pull through, and that's a decrease. So basically 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. And then we are going to be returning the stitch marker into this very first stitch. And then now into the next 3, we are going to be doing 1 single crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. And now into the next 2, we are going to be doing a decrease. Exactly like we did here at the beginning. And then into the next 3, 1 single crochet. And then the next 2 will be a decrease. So now you can go ahead and repeat the same steps with here the decreases, and I'm going to come back when I reach the stitch marker. So as you can see, I have 1 stitch left so that we can move into the new round, but we are just going to be repeating the same steps going around and around, but we are just keeping the stitch marker here just for reference. We are not using this to do anything basically. And here the last thing that I did was the 3 single crochets, 1 in each stitch. So now we are supposed to do the decrease. So I'm going to be doing that into the next stitch and getting the one from the stitch marker and creating a decrease. If you want, you can return the stitch marker here so you know where your round starts and finishes. So I'm gonna go ahead now and repeat the same steps with the decreases and the 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches until I have my 34 rounds Before you finish the last round, we want to stuff the body, and then you can do the last round, because then it's going to be, the gap at the top is going to be too small. So we want to do one round before we finish the body. All right, so once I have my 34 rounds, I will be back, and then we can stuff the body together. So now I have my 34 rounds completed. I still have one more to do, but before we move on into creating the last one, we want to stuff the body. You can do super stuffed, or you can do slightly stuffed. So I'm going to just grab stuffing now, and I'm going to be stuffing the body and the legs. So I'm done stuffing here the legs and a little bit of the body. So now I'm just gonna do the last round, and then I'm going to finish stuffing once I have this one completed. So you can go ahead and do that as well. So mine have finished here with 1 single crochet in the next 3, and then I already have the stitch marker, in which we are going to be then removing it. And then we are going to be slip stitching into that stitch where the stitch marker was. And then we can chain one and we can fasten off. We can leave, I think here, we can leave enough yarn to sew the head right on top, because then we are going to be doing the hoodie, in which we are not going to be having any yarn here at the bottom, because it's crocheted in a round like this. So we can now here leave enough yarn, or you can add more later if you want, but I'm going to leave around that much. This is going to be plenty, and we're still going to have a lot left, but just make sure that you have enough. So I'm going to fasten off here. Make sure that you don't tangle the yarn. So here's the opening, as you can see, and if I measure the opening for you, it's 3 centimeters. So I'm just going to finish stuffing the body, because I want it to be nice and stuffed, but I still want it to be squishy. So now to complete the body, we have to do 2 more things. We have to add the belt and also the zipper, the zip here in the middle. So I'm going to be using my tapestry needle now. If you want, you can do that before you add the stuffing. I completely forgot that we had to do that, so I just added the stuffing. So I'm not gonna remove that, so I'm gonna do kind of on top of the stuffing, which is not really good because it does transfer to the black yarn, so which is not that good, but it's fine too. So I'm going to be doing a double yarn for all of these details, or you can do maybe a single yarn for the zip and then a double yarn for the belt. So maybe I think I'm gonna do that. So you are going to be choosing 1 little stitch here from the inside. Make sure that it doesn't go towards the front. Just choose 1 little stitch, go through that stitch, and then you're going to be making a knot right here, a double knot or a triple knot. It's up to you. This little end is going to stay inside, so don't worry about it. So now we have to find the middle of the body. We can always measure. I think measuring is the best option. So let's do like 10 centimeters, and then we can find 5 centimeters, which is the middle, and then we can just choose like this. So here's the middle, so go through a stitch in the middle like this. So move the yarn towards the front, and now we can just go straight down, maybe about here, kind of. You can choose this, everybody, don't have to do exactly as I'm doing. So I'm gonna go down here And I'm going to be moving this yarn and the needle all the way up to the opening here. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Make sure that it's nice and tight like this. You don't want to do too tight. And now we can secure this yarn here at the top. So find another stitch here at the top, and then you can just make a knot here at the top again, just with the end of the yarn, so that is not going to be moving around. So just fasten the yarn off right here at the top, basically. So once you've done that, we can now go ahead and cut this yarn and leave inside the body. We don't have to cut it super close to the knot. And now let's make the belt. So here we have the zip. So now for the belt, we need to do a double yarn in the tapestry needle. And then here at the end, I'm going to be making a knot with the two ends of the yarn. And cut the excess off. I'm going to secure this yarn here at the top, kind of towards the side where the arm is gonna go, towards here. So you want to secure the yarn here on the side. So go through a stitch, make sure that it's not gonna be showing at the front of the project. So here, and then before you sew all the way, you're just gonna go through the little loop here at the end, and then you're going to secure this yarn in place, just like that. So I'm going to be probably doing around here, I think this is a good spot. So you want to go all the way into that spot. So you want to come out here where the arm is gonna go. Remember that it's going to be hidden on the side. So I'm gonna do it here. Now all you have to do is to go around the body with the belt, with the black yarn that we have here. Go around and around all the way to the other side. And then here we are going to be inserting the yarn back into the inside of the body, and we are going to come out from the top, just there. So now once you're happy with the belt, we can now fasten off the yarn here underneath and inside the body. So go through a stitch, and then I'm just going to fasten off here by creating a little knot. Then I'm going to be cutting the yarn, and I'm going to be hiding it inside the body. Here we go. So now we have the zip and the belt completed, and now we are going to be making the little arms. So this one is going to be kind of hiding this little gap that we have here, which is really nice. I'm going to be showing you again the bottom here with the purple, because I'm not going to be able to show you with the black in the camera. So first, for the little hands that we are doing here at the bottom, so we are going to be creating a magic ring, and then we are going to be chaining one, and we are going to go around the magic ring, and we are going to be creating 6 single crochets. Once you have the 6 single crochets, we are going to be closing the magic ring, and then we are going to go into that first single crochet, pull up a loop, make it nice and tight, and here is going to be our first single crochet for the next round. So place a stitch marker here so you can keep on track of your rows, your rounds. I keep saying rows. I'm not used to working rounds. Sorry if I keep saying rounds. Rows. That's so confusing. So now we are going to create 2 single crochets in each stitch around, and here we should have 12 single crochets in total. So now you're going to be removing the stitch marker. We are going to go right into that first stitch, and we are going to be creating the first single crochet, returning stitch marker. And now we are going to be following the stitches that we have here. So we have 12 stitches, and we are not increasing anymore, and we are just going to go around and around and around until we have 5 rounds in total, and that should measure, so as you can see I have mine here completed, and that should measure 3 centimeters. And now we can attach the red exactly the same as we did to the leg, and then we can go up, going around and around until you have 17 rounds in total. So I'm gonna go ahead and do mine. So slip knot, attach it in place, I like to weave my ends in already here at the beginning, and then you're gonna go all the way around. So once you have the 12 single crochets going around, we can go into this first one and then single crochet right on top of this one. This one is going to be our guide, so place a stitch marker, and now we can go around and around following the stitches here that we have until we have 17 rounds in total. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one, and then I will be back once I have my 17 rounds completed. So here we have the 17 rounds completed. So once you've done that, you just want to leave again a little bit of yarn at the end, just as I did on this one, just so that we can sew the hands to the body later. So leave a little bit of yarn, and now we can fasten off. You can remove the stitch marker too. And if I measure the arms here for you, it's 9 centimeters in total. So once you have one little arm, you can go ahead and create the other one. So we have 2, and now we are going to move on into creating and crocheting the head. So now let's crochet the hoodie. So we are first going to be making a magic ring, and then we are going to be chaining 1, and we are going to be doing 8 single crochets going around the magic ring. So the beginning of this one is going to be exactly the same as the foot. Once you have the 8, we are going to be closing the magic ring. We are gonna go right into the first single crochet and create the first single crochet of the second round. We are going to be placing a stitch marker into this first one, and then for the second round we are going to be doing 2 single crochets going around into every stitch. So we are going to be having 16 single crochets for the second round. So now for the third round, you're going to be removing the stitch marker, and into this first stitch we are going to be doing an increase. And when I say increase, is 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So 1 and 2. All right, this is an increase. And then you're going to be returning the stitch marker into the first single crochet you've created on this stitch. All right. And then we are going to be doing 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then the next one is going to be an increase. 1 single crochet, 1 increase. So we are going to be repeating this same step all the way around. So my last stitch, as you can see, was 1 single crochet into this last stitch. So now for the second round, we are going to be doing increase. So it's going to be an increase into this first stitch, the beginning here where we are doing the increases, it's always going to be exactly the same. So we are going to be doing, every time we go up and we have to do the rows with increases, we are always going to be doing into this very first stitch where the stitch marker was. And then for now, the next round, we are going to be doing 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So every time we go up a row, we are going to be increasing the amount of single crochets in between the increases. So it's going to be, this one is 1 into the next 2, and then the next one is going to be an increase. So now 1 single crochet in the next 2, and then increase into the next 1. 1 single crochet in the next 2, and then increase. And then you can just repeat the same all the way around. So now for this round, we are going to be finishing with 1 single crochet into the last 2 stitches. So now for the next round, we are going to be doing increase into this very first stitch, as we always have to do. And then we are going to be doing, the sequence for this one is going to be 1 single crochet into the next 3, and then increase. So 1 single crochet in the next 3 and an increase. Repeat the same steps all the way around. So we are going to be repeating now a sequence of increases until we have 7 rounds in total. So I have 5 rounds, so I have to do 2 more, and I'm going to be doing, for the next one, I'm doing 1 increase and then 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. And then for round number 7, which is the last one, we are going to be doing increase and then 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. I'm going to be leaving a quick written pattern here so that you know what to do from round number 1 to 7. So once I have all the 7 rounds completed, I will be back, and then we are going to be doing the next one together. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds completed, and this one measures 9 centimeters. So now we are going to be going around and around, so we are not doing the increases anymore. And we are gonna go around and around until we have 13 rounds in total. So currently we have 7, so we have to do 6 more rounds, just going around and around, and you will see that it's going to fold. So I'm not gonna be recording this part for you guys because I already showed you how to go around when we did the legs together. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do my 6 rounds going around without increases or decreases. It's just normal. So it's 1 single crochet into every stitch going around. And then once I have my 6 rounds here, which is going to be 13 in total, I will be back, and then I'm gonna show you the next step. So here we have 13 rounds completed, and this is how it looks, as you can see. So it's going to start to curve and it's going to start to come in, and we are going to be closing it to create the little hoodie. So now for round 14, we are going to be doing decrease. So now we are going to be starting to decrease, and we are not going to be increasing anymore. So remove stitch marker. So now to decrease, you are gonna go into the very first stitch, you're going to pull up a loop, and then go into the next one, pull up a loop, keeping all the loops on the hook, and then all you have to do is to yarn over and pull through all the loops together. So this is how you do a decrease. And then you're going to be returning the stitch marker into this very first stitch, the very first decrease. And then now we are going to be doing 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So 3 and 4. And then into the next 2, we are going to be doing a decrease. And then 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches, and then into the next 2 we are going to be doing a decrease. So now you can just repeat the same steps all the way around. So I have ended here with 2 stitches, and this one is going to be the last 2 with a decrease. And now we are gonna go into round 15 and 16, and we are going to go around without decreases or increases. It's just going to be around, following the stitches that you have into round 14. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the 2 next rounds. So here we have round 16 completed, and you can see that it went in a little bit more. So now for round 17 we are going to be doing some more decreases. So for this one, the sequence, it's going to be a decrease into this first 2 stitches, return stitch marker here, and then we are going to be doing 1 stitch into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the next 2 is going to be a decrease, and then 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. And then you're going to be repeating the same all the way down. Right here at the end of round 17, you will see that you're only gonna have 2 stitches left. So all we have to do is just to create 1 single crochet on top of each of these 2 into these 2 stitches, just single crochets, no decreases. And now for round 18 we are gonna go all the way around up to here, and then we are done with the hoodie. So this is going to be the very last round. So single crochet into this one, return the stitch marker so that you know when you are finished, because for this round we have to do a slip stitch right here so that it's kind of seamless the end of the round, because this is going to be the last one. So I'm going to be creating single crochets all the way around. So round 18 is now completed. So this is how it looks like, and now we can fasten off. But before we fasten off, we are going to just slip stitch into this very first stitch where the stitch marker was. So go into this stitch and then slip stitch. If you want, you can do another slip stitch into the next stitch, so it's a little bit more seamless. And then we are going to chain 1, cut the yarn, leave a little bit of yarn so that you can weave in nicely. So I'm going to just move this yarn to the inside, then I'm going to already weave this yarn in. So here's our hoodie completed. This is the cutest little thing ever. I love this. And here the opening, as you can see, it's 7 centimeters. We are going to be doing the last thing, which is the face. I'm again going to show you how to do it with the purple yarn. So before you start with the face, you want to shape how you want the face to look like here at the front. So I'm just going to pinch a little bit here at the bottom. So I want my face to look like this. So I'm going to first start with a magic ring, and then I'm going to chain 1, which doesn't count as a stitch, and then I'm going to be doing 2 single crochets. And here you can close the magic ring, and then you're going to chain 1, doesn't count as a stitch. All the chain ones doesn't count as a stitch for this part, for the head. And then into this first single crochet, so we have 2, so we have to cover both of them. So we are going to be increasing, so 2 single crochets in each of these 2 single crochets. So we have started with 2, so now we are going to be having 4 single crochets. So now chain 1, turn, project. So what we are going to be doing now, it's increasing the sides and then creating 1 single crochet in each stitch in the middle of the sides. So into this very first single crochet, we are going to be doing a increase. So 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then the last one, it's going to be an increase. So again, chain 1, turn, increase into this first stitch, the very first one, and then 1 single crochet until you have 1 stitch left. So here, when you get into that last one, you're going to be creating a increase. And you are going to be following the shape of the face. So I'm going to now do 1 more increased row. So we can do 1 more increased row. So now here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows in total at the moment. So yeah, I am happy with this. So now we are going to be creating a couple of rows going up. I think I'm gonna do 3, but I'll check. So chain 1 and then 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way down. So counting this very first one because we are not counting the chain 1 as a stitch. So here I have 9 rows in total. So once this one is finished, we can check how this one looks towards the hoodie. So this is how it looks like so far. It's a little crazy, the shape, but it looks really good when it's going inside the hoodie. So here, as you can see, this is good enough. So now we have to start decreasing. So we are going to be decreasing at the beginning and at the end, and then 1 single crochet in the middle of the stitches. You are going to chain 1, turn, project, and then you're going to be decreasing and then you're going to be decreasing the very first 2 stitches exactly as we did the decreases for the hoodie. And then you're going to be doing 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way until you have 2 stitches left. So here we have 2 stitches left. So we are going to be doing another decrease. And then chain 1, turn, decrease at the beginning, and then single crochet all the way down until you have 2 stitches left. And then once you have the 2 stitches left, decrease. So now we are going to be repeating a couple of times more until we have around probably 4 stitches at the top. So now let's check how it looks. So here it is. So we can do 1 more row, but without the decreases, just going across. Because if we decrease, it's going to be a point here at the top, and we don't want that. So chain 1, turn, and then single crochet across. So here we are going to be having 4 single crochets, so 4 stitches in total here at the top. And as you can see, it fits really nicely around the hoodie. So that's what you want to do. So once you've done the face, we can cut the yarn and we can fasten off. We don't need to leave a longer tail for this. And we are going to be doing the shape here. This one I've done with 2 yarns, as you can see. I don't think I want to do with 2. I think I'm just going to do with 1 because then it looks a little bit nicer. Before I do the shape, I'm going to weave these 2 yarns in. So I'm going to show you here where we are going to be doing the shape. Now I'm going to get my pins so that we can choose where we are going to be creating and we are going to be embroidering the shape. So I'm going to be starting into this row, so the beginning of the third one, and then we are gonna go down, I think to here. I think it's a good size, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so in between 5 and 6. So the shape is going to be this size. So I'm gonna get a little bit of the yarn. So get your tapestry needle, thread this yarn into your tapestry needle. So take to the reverse, choose a stitch. I'm going to be starting here at the bottom, so I'm going to be attaching it here at the bottom. Make sure that it's not showing here on the right side. And then you're going to be making a knot here at the back. And you can leave this yarn here, just cut it a little bit. So into the bottom pin, we are going to be counting these little gaps that we have here in between the stitches. So I decided to do into the fourth one, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So go through here and bring the yarn forward. And then you're going to be lining up at the top. And then you're going to go through any stitch here at the top. Go all the way down. Now we can remove the pins because we can already see where everything is. And then you are going to be choosing another stitch here from the other side, and you're going to be bringing it forward and then back into the second. And then we are gonna bring the yarn back into the other side here in the middle. So count 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it forward. Take it back to the third one that we've created. And then you're going to be going to the first one here and into the last one to close the square. And that's all you have to do. The back is going to be a little bit messy, but that's completely fine because it's going to be at the back and no one is going to see. So this is how you do the shape embroidery basically. So once you're here at the back, once you've done with the shape, you can choose any stitch and then you can fasten off the yarn here at the back. And then you can just cut the yarn, leaving a little tail, and then you can leave this tail here at the back. So that's all you have to do. So this is how this one looks, and here is the purple one. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to be first sewing around before I stuff inside, and then I just leave a little gap so I can place the stuffing inside, and then I can just sew the opening closed once we have the stuffing inside, because that's a little bit easier, and then we're not gonna have stuffing everywhere kind of on the way. So I'm gonna get a little bit of the yarn. You don't need a lot because it's not a lot of sewing, and I'm also going to be using a single strand on my tapestry needle. First choosing a stitch here on the inside of the hoodie, and then we are going to be attaching this yarn here in place. Make sure that you're doing on the reverse. The right side is this one, the pretty side. And then I'm just going to be creating a knot to attach this yarn in place. And I left here 1 centimeter as well all the way around, so the sewing is after 1 centimeter. All right, into the hoodie. So we are going to be doing exactly the same, and the sewing we are going to be doing here on the right side of the face, and it's going to be on the inside of the hoodie. So I'm going to be starting here at the top. It's completely fine how you want to do this, and all you have to do is to get 1 little stitch from the hoodie and 1 stitch from the face and sew it together. So that's all you have to do, and you want to make sure that it's nice and tight when you do the sewing, because then it's going to be seamless. And you just have to make sure that it's the same 1 centimeter all the way around as well. So just get one little stitch from the hoodie and one little stitch from the face and sew it together. Make sure that it's nice and tight. So if you want to make sure that it's going to fit all the way around, you can pin the bottom of the face to the bottom of the hoodie. Make sure that you leave the 1 centimeter. So pin here. And then you can pin the sides. Remember to leave the 1 centimeter. And also, I just pinned myself. And also the other side as well here. And be careful with the pin because it's so sharp, Jesus Christ. And then here the other side. So you're going to be doing the sewing nicely. And by pinning it like this, you will know that it's going to fit perfectly going around. All right? So this is another thing that you can do if you want to make sure that it's going to fit all the way around. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue now here with my sewing. Alright, so I have a little opening here at the end, as you can see, so now we can stuff the head. So once you are happy with the stuffing, we can now close the little opening here. So once you've done the sewing, we can then just hide this yarn inside the hoodie. So now you should have the body, the arms, and the head completed. So the last thing we have to do is just to put all this together. And the first thing I'm gonna do is to attach the arms on the sides of the body. First, you want to stuff just a little bit inside the arms. So you can do the sewing however you want. So I'm going to just fold the arms, place it right here. I'm going to probably pin this in place. And then I'm going to be using this yarn and I'm going to be sewing all the 3 layers together. So I'm going to be pinning the arms exactly where I want them to be. Alright, so here it's fine. I like that placement. So now I'm going to be threading this yarn into my tapestry needle and I'm going to be attaching the arms in place. Once you've done with the sewing, you will see that the arm is going to be sticking out. So we want to kind of have it around the body like this. So I'm going to be moving my needle to about here. So you just want to get a little bit of the red here in the arms, just like that. And then you just want to secure the arms in place. I'm just going to fasten off here so it's not going to be moving around. And it's going to be nicely secured in place. Just like that, a little knot. And now we can hide the yarn inside the body. Just like that. And we can cut it. That's all we have to do. So now you can repeat the same to the other arm. So here we have the arms and the body together. Look at this, it's so cute. And now we have to attach the face. Oh my god, it's the cutest thing ever. Oh. So place exactly where you want the head to go. You can check. I think here is a nice placement. So first we are going to be just pinning this in place exactly where we are going to be sewing. So now we can go ahead and sew this together. Check where this yarn begins. It's right here. So let's thread into our tapestry needle. So what I'm going to be doing is trying my best to cover all the stitches going around. Here you can see from the neck. So you would try your best to kind of close this so that the stuffing is not going to show right at the top. And you want to make sure that you close it nicely. So grab one little stitch from the neck and then one stitch from under the hoodie, the head, and then you're going to be sewing the two together. So one from the body, from the neck. So you want to do one by one so that it's nicely sewn together, and then one from the neck. Sew it. When you get here, close to the arms, you can just use the stitches here that we have on top of the arms to sew the two together. So once you've done the sewing, we can now just hide this yarn inside the body. And then we can cut the yarn. And oh my god, we are done! So here we have our Squid Game red man completed. This is the square one, and I also have the triangle one, but this one is just a tad little different because I made this one was the first one, so this one was the one that I was kind of testing the pattern, and then I came up with this one, in which is a little bit bigger. The head is a little bit bigger, and also the black yarn here, it's a little bit bigger on this one because it's the same yarn weight for everything that I have used to crochet this square Squid Game red man. And if I measure for you the completed amigurumi, let's see, because I don't know either. So from here, yeah, from here all the way down. So it's nearly 27 centimeters. So it's probably 26 and a half. So it's pretty big. And I really hope you guys have enjoyed my take on this little amigurumi inspired by the trendy series that is going on, Squid Game. So I'm pretty excited and I love how it turned out. And I hope you have an amazing Halloween. If you love Halloween just like me, enjoy your Halloween, have an amazing Halloween. Share with me the pictures if you end up posting and making the little amigurumi, this one that I've just showed it to you. I would love to see your take on this one because it's so cute. Look at that. It's just the cutest little thing ever. Also with this video, you will be able to learn certain things when doing an amigurumi. Using the body of this particular amigurumi, you will be able to make any other amigurumi that you want, that it's like a little doll. You can change the head here and you can make like a little doll. I don't know, you can do a few other changes and you can use this pattern for other things as well. So yeah, I really hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave your massive thumbs up as you always do, and also don't forget to subscribe and to turn on the notification bell to receive notifications every time I post a new crochet tutorial. So thank you everyone for watching again today's tutorial, and I'll see you next week. Bye!